So I was contacted by Benks asking if I'd be interested in reviewing their headphone stand. I hadn't personally heard of the brand before, and this is not something I'd normally review, but looking at the images of the stand, which is made for the Apple AirPods Max specifically, and also has a wireless charger, it looked quite nice. I was intrigued, so I accepted, and a few days later the package arrived at my door. I do have to mention though, Benks has sent me the item for free. This has no bearing on my thoughts on the item and on my review, which remains completely unbiased and objective. So let's get started. The headphone stand came in a branded Benks box. Opening it up shows the box, which sends off Apple design vibes. On the side you see the features. Most interesting of them is the perfect fitting support, which they say fits perfectly your headphones. We'll see about that in a minute. It also has a 15-watt fast charging Qi base, though as you know this charges iPhones at 7.5 watts only, which is the maximum an iPhone currently supports with Qi wireless charging. This is the black version, but the headphone stand also exists in white. Opening the box was a bit tricky. It's hard cardboard, has a great feel to it, but also quite tight. As you can see, it took some exercise to get this thing open. But I got there eventually. There's a manual in Chinese and English, but you probably don't need to refer to that much. The wireless base has a really nice feel to it, soft plastic with a small Benks logo. It has a non-slip base as well and is weighted to give the stand more stability. You also get a USB-C to USB-C cable. I'm happy to see the stand uses USB-C instead of micro USB, but the other end of the cable is also USB-C. Many of the older chargers have USB-A, so if you only have one of those, you would need either to buy a USB-C charger or an adapter or a USB-C to USB-A cable, so keep that in mind. Then you got the metal rod with the curved support that cradles the AirPods Max's mesh canopy, and I must say I was very impressed with the finish and the material of this. The rod itself has a shiny premium look, and the curved support is lined with very soft silicone so it doesn't scratch your headphones. You also get a single screw and an Allen wrench, which is the only assembly you need to do over here. And assembling is quite straightforward. The rod fits nicely in the base, insert the screw and tighten. And there you have it, the Grand Pro headphone stand from Benks. Now this is designed for the AirPods Max, but works with most other headphones as well. Unfortunately, I no longer have my AirPods Max to test it, but looking at their website, they clearly show that perfect fit with the AirPods Max, with the curved surface on top, which is designed to hold the AirPods Max's mesh canopy perfectly, and the inclined support, they say, prevent the cups from bumping into the support rod. It does look like a perfect fit, but as I said, I unfortunately don't have the AirPods Max anymore, so I will have to take their word for it and test it out with other headphones instead. So I initially was afraid that the curved surface might be too curved for normal headphones, maybe strip them out, but that's definitely not the case. I tried them with the Bose 700, but also the QC45, and even a wired Jabra headset that I have. They all fit perfectly, and they were more stable than my older headphone stand, obviously since the surface area supporting the headphones is much larger over here. The stand itself is also more stable since it has a weighted base, which makes it quite sturdy and harder to topple. That weighted base is also a wireless Qi charger. It might take a few tries to get used to placing the phone properly on it, but generally it wasn't an issue. What I did find a bit annoying was that, at least with the Bose NC700, they were quite tall, almost touching the base, which isn't an issue until you want to also place your phone. How annoying this is will depend on what headphones you use this with. For example, with the QC35s, which are a bit shorter than the NC700, this was not an issue. Granted, you can make the NC700s shorter, which would solve this issue, I can then easily put my phone to charge, but while that solves that issue, it does create a new one. I'd have to expand them every time I take them off of the stand. Not a major issue, but an annoyance, and also something to keep in mind. So to conclude this video review, I absolutely love the headphone stand. Is it worth the selling price of about $60 US? That I'm not sure. But if money is not an issue, I would highly recommend this, and I would guess even more so if you have the AirPods Max. I love the material used, the sleek finishing, the sturdiness of it. I also like that it looks like a normal stand. It can be used as a charger, but doesn't have to. Sometimes I just place my AirPods on it as well if my other wireless charger is occupied. Obviously, the limitation here is going to be that iPhones are capped at 7.5 watts, so if you have an iPhone, this won't charge it fast, but neither will any wireless charger on the market for that matter, unless you have a newer iPhone and you use MagSafe, which becomes then another apparent limitation here. Okay, this is getting complicated. Let me summarize my thoughts. Great stand, feels great, looks great, might be a bit annoying with larger headphones. Wireless charging is great if you have an Android or a non-MagSafe iPhone, or if you don't care about charging speed. There, that's all, and thanks for Benks again for sending this across. And as always, if you like this review, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.